guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group and a community, and nurture the bonds. Fill us with your grace, dear Lord, as we make decisions that might affect our staff, employees, and residents of Mount Healthy, and continue to remind us that all that we do here today and all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth and for the greater glory of you and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome once again, everybody, to the meeting. July 16th. Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Lingo, Mr. Parsons.
Here.
Mr. Redding,
Here.
Mrs. Dosa,
Here.
Mr. George,
Here.
Mr. Young, Mrs. Rissel.
Okay, we have two members absent. I know one of them is sick. The other one's stuck in traffic in Indiana. Is that what I just heard?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody like to excuse?
Make a motion to excuse Mr. Young and Ms. Lingo.
Okay, Mr. George has made a motion to excuse. Ms. Rissel has seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You have before you the minutes of our last meeting, which was June something. June 18th. Anybody have any corrections? And I would ask for a motion to adopt as printed.
I make a motion to adopt the minutes as printed.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Parsons has made a motion to adopt. Mr. Redding has seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Correspondence. You have the police report in front of you and the report from the fire department. Other than that, I have no correspondence. We'll go over these. Okay, moving on to guest and special events. There's none listed. Public input. Who here like to address council tonight? Come on up to the microphone and give us your name and address, please.
I'm Sierra George, and my address is 1440 Hill Avenue. Cordell's my husband, but I would like to talk about this back-to-school drive that my nonprofit is hosting. It's not a drive, it's an event, but it is called Backpack to School Peachtree. It is taking place on August 10th and August 11th. On August 10th, it will be from 2 p.m. through 7 p.m., and then on August 11th, it will be 3 p.m. through 6 p.m. At this event, we plan on having, obviously, the backpacks and the supplies that we're donating to the community in an assembly-style line. Then we're going to have a magician come out, which is going to be really cool. We're going to have free haircuts for the community. We'll have community resources and vendors who are like-minded and who either serves kids, teens, or parents, or parents-to-be. We're also able to, we just got a donation of books from like 3 years old all the way up through high school. We got about 100 books. So we'll be able to donate those as well, along with the supplies. We'll be giving away or selling dollar hot dogs. We'll have a food truck, and I'm forgetting some stuff, games, and a DJ. So it's gonna be a good event. So if you all are available, or if you would like to donate anything to us, we are taking donations until the end of the month, and we are partnered with Emmanuel Church and their nonprofit. It's Love in Action. So they are able to take some of the workload off of me, but also they're able to get their own donations. So far, we've been able to get over 200 backpacks, so that has been wonderful. But like I said earlier at the We Thrive meeting, we are hoping to get like 400 kids there. So the need is still great for the backpacks and the supplies that we'll need for the community. So any help, even if that's just resources and connecting me to different resources, we'd appreciate it. But I have copies of these that I'd like to pass out to everyone if y'all wouldn't mind. And do with them what you may. Thank you.
Will the DJ and all the food be there both days?
Yes, the DJ will be there both days. We'll have food both days. The magician will only be there on Sunday. And then we're trying to get face painting there both days. The games will be there. Yes, sir.
Where is this taking
It will be at
place
the Mount Healthy Park,
Okay,
City
right-
Park.
Right behind us here.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you given that flyer yet to Kathy downstairs, because she can put that on the city's web
I have not, but I'll,
page? She needs a JPEG,
okay.
and she'll put it on the Facebook page, and then we can share it.
Should I email her or should I just
Email
email her? Okay. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. George.
You guys know us, Vicki and David Sturworth, 1590 Adams Road, and we weren't going to talk, but we want to know what's happening. Anything happened? We were hoping Scott was going to be here to let us know if he actually talked to Klinger, Klink,
Clink.
Klinger.
Tim Clink.
Watch Hogan's Heroes.
From United Dairy Farmer, Yeah.
I have the same question. I had that on my
Did
on my
ya?
agenda to ask about at old business.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, and I want something done, so he's
Yeah.
not here.
I don't know either. He's at the commission meeting. He's on the commission for the school district. And it started, I believe, 5 o'clock, so he was hoping, he texted and said he's gonna be late. I don't know how late, but, we need to get back with you.
And also, I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, we were in Pennsylvania, and down this one alley, they hit a pretty mural of, and we were thinking, if there's any, wasn't there any, help me out, like, was it
I think it
money in
was
the
through,
past or something, like
It
a
was through
grant?
Arts Work or Rethrive.
Yeah, so We Thrive has been working with Artworks on projects, and I went to the We Thrive meeting today, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. And I'm not sure where they, excuse me, are on that, because they were, from what I gathered today's conversation, it's more than maybe just a mural. It could be, bike racks, it could be painted, pots, garden pots, so I'm not sure where we are on that. I do know, though, that there's going to be a streetscape meeting with a steering committee with some businesses next week, and they are going to have a representative from We Thrive on that committee, because the company asked that we would have a nonprofit working community group to have their voice, but that's something we could bring up with the steering committee.
I just thought it would be kind of cool,
Yeah.
because the history of Mount Healthy, going down
Right,
the alley, if,
right.
if it's going to stay open.
If it's going to stay open, yeah.
Okay, that's it.
That was it?
If you guys find out anything.
We'll
let me
keep
know.
on it.
We'll let you
keep on
know,
it. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you, Dave, Vicki. Anybody else like to address council? Okay. Committees and commissions. Beautification is Ms. Lingo, she's not here. Business Partnership and Economic Development, Mr. Young. Finance, Mr. Parsons.
I did a quick review of the statements that came out as of the end of June. We're looking very good as far as revenues, and we weren't out of line on expenses, so things look good for now. I'll be calling a meeting in September for the Finance Committee, but I'll call that at our next meeting to go over everything year-to-date and make sure we're on the right path.
Thank you, Bob. Good to hear that stuff's following where it's supposed to be.
Doing good.
Library, Ms. Dosa.
Thank you. I did talk to the branch manager, Lacey, who's also here today, and asked for an update as to what was going on with the new building site. And I was told that the build-out work is progressing and the interior framing is nearly complete, along with the electrical and plumbing and HVAC system. So the roof placement's being done, and the work for the sheetrock and exterior has been started. So they're progressing in getting the building completed. There also is 2.5 weeks left of summer reading. And then they will have on Thursday, October. I'm passing the summer by. August 8th at 10:30 is a special family story time with Dino Buddies, who will be presenting a reptile-themed story time. So again, that's August 8th at 10:30. They'll have a special family story time with Dino Buddies, who are presenting a reptile-themed story time, and it's for the children ages 3 to 8, and there's no registration for that. So, any questions about the library? Okay, so I'll move on. Can I move on to Park
Yes.
Commissions? So Park and Commission, as everyone knows, July 3rd, we had a really great turnout in spite of the rain. The park did really well. We had a great concert with Miss Michelle Robinson. We talked about at the Park Commission meeting beforehand about how there were some issues with the truck placement and how we can work on that for next year with the food trucks. And we talked about adding maybe some lighting and things we could do to be more proficient next year, like having a credit card reading machine. Again, different placement for the booths that were there, different placement for seating for the viewing of the fireworks. We talked about upcoming future events. For example, we're having a pre-concert pool party on the 2nd at the pool from 6 to 7:30. We're gonna have some light refreshments. We're gonna have some beer floats, some seltzers. We're gonna have some henna by Catherine Cup, Mount Healthy Zone, and face painting if they wanted, and all of that will happen before the concert at 7:30. So from 6 to 7:30, and then we invite everyone to come over to see Fog play at the park at 7:30. We also talked about other upcoming events for the park, and there's a lot of things that we talked about, but potentially bringing back a movie night. We'll have more details about that in September. So an after Labor Day, end of the summer type celebration with movie and treats at the park. We talked about having in the fall a pumpkin carving contest and incorporating that with our celebration prior to Halloween, and possibly bringing back a bonfire, drum circle. We talked about a lot of different things that we could do in the park for the upcoming months. Painting, sip and paints, all kinds of things. So we talked about that. And then also lastly, just to reiterate the concert series, we're talking about upcoming concert series and working on the contracts in terms of reviewing them and seeing how we can make them better and fairer, if that's a word, to the performers. Things we talked about was one of the clauses that's in that contract is that the city is not under any obligation to pay for performances that are canceled or postponed due to weather. So we talked about maybe adding a clause to not only will we try to, one, reschedule the concert at a date that's agreeable to both parties, but also possibly, potentially agreeing upon maybe some kind of compensation. So those are things that we're looking at and working towards for the future. Any questions? Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Safety, Mr. Redding.
Just a couple of things. For fire and EMS, Chief Lawson is with us tonight, so he'll be going over fire and EMS departments. And then the police chief has attached his monthly letter. And just to point out two things, there's been 237 traffic contacts or stops this month, and 187 citations. And then an officer, we've lost one officer. They're moving on to their hometown. they took a job with their hometown, so, and that officer plans to be replaced with another officer in January who's currently going to be going through the Ohio Academy. So, that is it, sir.
Okay, thank you. Questions for Mr. Redding? Schools, Mr. George.
Former graduate and Detroit Lion David Montgomery is hosting a annual football camp that he hosts at the high school every summer. That's on July 21st at 11 a.m. It's free, and they're targeting grades 3rd through 12th grade graduation, so that'll be pretty cool. Besides that, no report.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Streets, Ms. Rissel.
I have nothing.
Okay. Mayor's report, Ms. Moody.
Yes, with the streetscape grant that we've got, they wanted a steering committee of some businesses. Also, they wanted a community group, like a nonprofit, to participate in just kind of giving input as to what they would like to see the streetscape look at like in the core business district. That meeting will be on July 25th at 5 o'clock. We're still securing businesses who want to participate in that. We are going to have a representative from We Thrive, since they've been doing a lot with active transportation, walking. They were talking about at their meeting tonight a $9,000 grant, which we are going to apply for in the city, which is a demonstration grant of traffic calming techniques, meaning that you would put something up temporarily, get data on it, see how it would do, and then move it to another location or keep it there, and it's $9,000 available. So it sounded at first like We Thrive was going to apply for it. I let them know that the city is going to apply for it, but that a representative from We Thrive, since they've been working on transportation plan, looking at the walkability of the community, what areas seem to have more difficulties than others with safety and walking. So there's a representative from We Thrive that will be on that committee also. We also talked about the Peachtree advocacy, the backpack drive, and the back to school. So coming up with ideas of how we can collect school supplies for that event in August. There's going to be a walking group that they're going to try to put together again. I don't know if you know it, and there is a lot of features in Heritage Park and in the wetlands, and putting together a walking group where we have people in town that are very knowledgeable about the wildlife, plants, and that. And so bringing people together maybe to have a walk around Heritage Park or at the wetlands, not only have that exercise, but to also to learn about the environment there at the different parks. There's been a Mulberry Festival Planning Committee. There was a small Mulberry Festival planned this year at Fibonacci. They're looking to expand it in the community, so I think there's a lot of opportunity in the future with the history of how mulberries got here in Mount Healthy, the trees, and also concerning that we have a lot of mulberry trees, and they had a bake-off this year, and I was present, and we have the winner of the bake-off sitting right there with the jelly that she made. It was jammer. It was wonderful. So there is a planning going on there, and they're looking at maybe doing a walk, a 3K or 5K, and I know the school district was looking at that also, and so they're looking at maybe, this would be sometime at the beginning of June of next year. And that's about it. One other thing, everybody kind of received concert t-shirts this year, and if you don't want to wear your concert t-shirt, you don't want it, which is fine. We have people that want them, and at this date, it's going to be kind of hard to get those ordered, and we still have people saying, can I get a concert t-shirt? So if anybody in the city, or you were given a concert t-shirt and you don't want to wear it, now I don't want a real used concert t-shirt, but you know, some people maybe haven't worn theirs, that it would be great if you could turn it into the office, and then we've got a list of some people that would really like to have a concert t-shirt, especially some that come every week to the concerts in the park. A few people would like them. So I would just put that out there. Maybe we could put that out in an email too. And Mr. Bauer is at the commission meeting for the school district. I don't know whether he'll be here in time, but he's going to try to. So that's all.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions for the mayor? Okay, city manager's report. Yeah, he's not here. All right, Steve, fire chief's report.
I have two things. First of all, the report for April through June. We had grand total of 415 EMS runs and 58 fire incidences. We had, let's see, of those 415, we had 235 transports. We did 15 mutual aid where we gave them mutual aid, and then we received 22. And then the other thing I have is last Thursday we did the Civil Service Commission conducted the civil service test. We had 10 applicants, but only 5 were qualified to sit for the test, and we should have it certified by the end of this week.
How many you need to hire?
Just one.
Just one?
So any questions?
What position was that test for?
Firefighter or paramedic.
Firefighter, paramedic, okay.
Yes.
I see we got mutual aid from Colerain and gave mutual aid to Colerain. That's the first time in some time, isn't it?
We've kind of go back and forth.
Thought that was kind of unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, for just being, well, you know, we gave them 2 times and we received once from them.
Okay. Also, I heard through the grapevine,
Oh, here he comes.
I think I heard from the city manager that you were interested in increasing the transport costs.
Yes. I met with Med-Account Management last week, and there are some things that this salesperson informed me. For example, tax. So there's a tax-based collections, and what that does is it eliminates any of our residents from receiving the 2 bills. Right now we soft bill. So then what we would do is soft bill non-residents. Then if they would get 2 bills, and then what we have the capability of doing is going through the Ohio Attorney General and using them as a collections, and they charge 15%. That 15% goes towards the patient, not towards what we would.
Okay. Are you going to put together a proposal? Is that something that council has to approve, this
I don't
increase?
know. I know. You know, me and
Yes.
Scott were talking about it.
Scott said he could put together, Scott Solomon, a resolution.
Council does approve that?
He said it would be a best practice. I don't know if it's,
Okay.
you know,
All right.
necessary, but.
Thank you.
Well. And that would be a charge for non-residents?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we would eliminate any billing for our residents, which I think is needed.
Any other questions for the chief?
I don't, yeah, I'm not sure I understand that either.
The residents would not be billed at all?
Correct. We would just the payment that we would get from Medicare,
Oh, we would bill them.
Medicaid,
Okay.
or the insurance. We would receive that payment. But what we do currently is, let's say they have a balance due, Medi-Account would send them 2 bills. And last year, we only received $1,400, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then the year prior was $1,500. That's all we received from the soft bill.
So residents, we would just accept the Medicare and the insurance?
Correct.
Okay.
And no further billing? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah,
Understand now.
The patient pay is 0.3% of the total collected, $1,400.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I understand that now. That's a little
Out of 478,000, yeah.
Yep.
1,400 is directly from patients.
Okay, is there any other questions for the chief?
Just-
Yes, Mr. Redding.
Just I don't have last quarter's report on me, but I noticed the response was 415, but the transports were 235, right?
Correct.
Is that about right, about 50%?
Yes.
Okay. Is that typical for most places, or?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
You know, if you look at, for example, the lift assist, you know,
Yeah, I saw that there were 48 falls,
yeah,
so, okay,
Probably not many of those require transport.
yeah.
correct.
An 85 sick person, does that?
Yeah. Sick person, that's where they call 911 and the dispatcher really can't define what the problem is, so they just put down sick person.
Okay. It's not like
and,
chest pains or
correct,
or
correct.
non-breather, or, okay,
Trouble breathing,
Okay. okay.
Now,
Thank
they're
you.
sick, how many do you transport?
that's about half.
And because they don't have a doctor, they don't go to the clinic up here?
Um,
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, we have a clinic, and I give you those brochures. I didn't know if it helps at all to give them
Yeah.
that information.
Yep.
I gotta find out what the boundaries are as far as, you know, could we give those patients that information? I don't know the answer to that.
You don't know if you can do that?
Right,
Oh, I
because
thought-
that's kinda like,
Well, I can find that out.
Okay.
I mean,
Right, yeah,
can't you
legally-
find- Can't you find that
legally,
out, though?
I guess we have to go through Scott
Yeah.
Solomon, just to make sure that we can.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because that, you know, the competition,
Well, it's a public, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, it's a public health
yeah.
location, it's not a private doctor's office. Okay. Okay.
Any questions for the chief, fire chief?
No, but I forgot something in my report.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say, and I forgot, tonight, we received a donation from the Kenny Kefmeyer Foundation in the amount of $1,000 at the park. And we want to thank them for their generosity, and we got a check. Peggy has it, and then we have the actual check.
Back to the bank.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that and say thank you again for everything that they did.
This is real and it's in my.
So, I don't know, Scott, if we could find a really good place to put that somewhere?
Yeah, sure.
I would like to be able to do that. And so that was something I wanted to say. Thank you.
That,
Okay. Scott, do you have anything?
yeah. So UDF apparently came up while I was out.
I whispered it to
And,
her.
I feel like I'm good with putting another speed hump there. Do you think that would be, I guess, what was, I've not talked to Mr. Kling. I've tried a couple times. He left me a message, and I've called him back a couple times. It seems like we never can quite connect with it at the same time. But were you fine with trying to put another speed bump kind of somewhere right next to where you pull your truck in? Is that? Mm-hmm. Like put a diagonal, is that what you're saying, kind of? Gotcha. Justin's been out on vacation, and he's been preoccupied by July 3rd. I'll come out there with him, and we can kind of chalk off an area where you want to put another one. I mean, that seems like an easy one to just see if it works. Okay.
Yeah, I think we should just close off the exit completely.
Close the alley.
And don't laugh, I'm serious. I've been serious about that for 6 months now.
But there are other residents that live off that alley.
Close it off. Don't need that.
It wouldn't be closed
No,
off,
it-
it would be closed off for people coming out of UDF, right?
Yeah,
That's
coming
what I
out of
mean, yeah. You
UDF.
can't come from
The
UDF into the
alley's still
alley.
open.
The alley, well, they have to be, because there's at least
Right.
two people behind the
Right.
Sturworths.
Right.
Look into it. So I'll get with Justin when he comes back. He's back next week. Let's see. I'm sure Steve covered all the fire department. We're excited about all the testing that's been done. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll have our next full-timer. Police chief wanted me to mention there'll be an OVI checkpoint on Thursday. I think it's in front of one of the funeral homes. I think it's Stevens. So that's from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. It'll be us, NCH, and Ohio State Patrol. So that's all covered by the OVI task force. No out-of-pocket for us other than just manning the station. So just be aware that that's going on.
That's this coming Thursday?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Let's see, if you've been on Forest, they're digging out to put in curbs. Then once they get the curbs laid, then they'll start working on the actual street, but starting to make progress on that. I'm not sure where things are on Harris and how much is left, and they're still gonna put that speed hump in. I don't know if there's, it seems like there's always little finishing touches here at the end, but that one's pretty much done. Let's see here. Talked with Bill Knight yesterday, the rental registration, he's expecting to send out letters to everyone in October. So we'll kind of kick that off. There's a, was it $100 or $150 fee associated with that. People have the option to self-assess, or we can go in and assess it for them. So hopefully that'll start next year, but we'll send out letters just announcing it to the community. You've got aggregation prices updated. Let's see, I think that's really it for my report. I did include a few things. So Karen Arnett put together a letter for me that she's going to deliver to people on Perry. I guess, people have a chance to read it and any issues with it? I mean, she's got the opt-out in there. She's going to hand deliver them. So if someone doesn't want a tree, they can just say, I don't want one, we won't plant one. I know this is what she plans to deliver the people on Perry on the southern section, so.
Did it say in there how many they're planning to plant, or?
Oh, it's
Or do you
probably,
know?
it's part of the grant, so it's probably in there. I off the top of my head, I cannot remember.
Couldn't be too many, I mean.
Right.
It's just on the south side, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have 10 in my mind, but I don't, 8 to 10 or something like that, but I guess let me know. I'll kind of give her the thumbs up, but just if you happen to see any issues with it, want any changes, just let me know. This Thursday, there'll be Operation Bridge. This is services that the county offers. This will be in the parking lot by the post office. So the 513 relief bus and some other organizations that just will provide different services to the community. They'll be there on Thursday, where the Emmanuel Temple is hosting it. But it'll be in the parking lot. That's from 10 to 2. That's exciting. Something the county is pushing is a lead safe. So we do the lead pipe replacement through the city, where we'll help someone replace their pipe. But this is actually like paint and things inside the home. So if anyone knows of any properties, I'm working with Bill Knight. If he sees any potentials, they will actually come out and do work on your home, not necessarily the lead pipe, but just lead abatement within the home. That's kind of what makes it.
It's free.
Yeah, and it's free at no cost. I mean, I'm sure there's qualifiers. There's certain dollar amount restrictions, but it's I think paint's kind of the big thing, but all kinds of stuff. So if you know yourself or know any neighbors that might, this could be useful for them, let me know and we can reach out to the county for them. I think anything else I had was related to legislation. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. Questions? Okay, then we're going to move on, and we're moving on to legislation, ordinances and resolutions. We have a second reading on an ordinance, number 24-2046, an ordinance to amend Chapter 156, vacant and/or foreclosed property registration of the Mount Healthy Code of Ordinances.
I didn't see anyone reach out for questions. I know Bill Knight's excited about it. There's a lot of properties that passing this will allow him to kind of put on a registry, start forcing them to kind of make improvements to their dwellings, so.
Was I the only one that got the changes to the legislation?
Yes.
Okay, so on page 7, section 2 has been eliminated. Is that correct?
Correct. That's the only change, yep.
My other question is, when is this going to go into effect? I know it'll be either immediately or 30 days, but when are we going to actually start collecting it or enforcing it?
I would have to talk to Bill Knight when I'm sure he'll send him a letter immediately just saying that we
1st of September, maybe, something like that?
It would be something like that, yeah. He'll send out letters as quick as he can, just notifying this is the change, and that if you're not at this point, you'll be fined or assessed a certain amount.
What is your wish, council? Questions? Asking for a second reading.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 24-2046.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Mr. Parsons has made a motion to adopt. Mr. Redding has seconded. Roll call. When you're ready.
Mrs. Lingo, Mr. Parsons.
Aye.
Mr. Redding,
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa, Mr. George,
Aye.
Mr. Young, Mrs. Rissel.
Okay, by a vote of 5-0. Ordinance number 24-2046 is adopted. Then we have a second reading of a resolution, 24-1219, a resolution adopting a tax budget for 2025.
We did adjust the police levy funds on the, I think it's page 2, or just how much we thought was going to come in total. And just one other slight change. I don't think it's going to reflect in what's on your desk, but Sarah should have it. Page 2 where it says local government, they want you to say local government dash state. So it's no changes to the dollar amounts. It's just sort of a
Heading.
technical adjustment that, for whatever reason, they wanted to state that. So.
Okay, once again, this is asking for a second reading.
We had a first reading in May, and it was tabled last month, so,
Yes.
yeah.
We need to pass this week.
Yep, yep. I make a motion to adopt resolution 24-1219.
As amended.
Parsons has made a motion to adopt. Mr. Redding, was that?
Already been amended.
Her amended.
Hmm?
She made it a clerical amendment. On her version, she has a clerical amendment.
Okay.
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 So I
Mr.
think we
Redding,
need
you
to-
second that, right?
I second it with,
Okay.
with the amendment,
Okay.
on the amendment that Sarah has. The clerk of courts, or clerk of council has.
I have it.
Okay, you have it.
Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Lingo, Mr. Parsons,
Aye.
Mr. Redding,
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa,
Aye.
Mr. George,
Aye.
Mr. Young, Mrs. Rissel.
Okay, by a vote of 5-0, resolution number 24-1219 is approved. Now we have some first reading of ordinances. 24-2047, an ordinance assessing cost of the removal of high grass and weeds and declaring an emergency. What is your wish, council? This could be left at a first reading without any harm, right?
We can do 2 readings if you'd like. I mean, that's fine. I mean, we typically will do it in one just to get it to the county as quick as possible, but
That's fine.
whatever council's
Can't do
preference.
one, but
Oh,
we're
okay.
going to have a special meeting, and we're going to have a special meeting for the police cadet. Does that have to be done before August 1st?
Probably, yeah. I think he starts sometime in August at the academy, so that's when we'd start paying him.
Yeah, our meeting's not going to be till the 18th,
I
or
mean,
20th.
we
It's
can
late.
still use that we have a $15 rate approved. So, I mean, the position is already approved, it's just at the $20. I mean, at the very least, we could do back pay or something like that. So no need for a special meeting.
Whatever you want to do, sir.
That's fine. Oh, yeah, okay. I guess we'll need a special one anyways for the, is that what the one Ohio opioid one? Is that what you're referencing?
Well, I got to have that, too.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
There's 3 of them, okay.
Go with the first reading on this one, too?
And then we'll have to set a special meeting.
Want me to see where Paul Young is right now? He's still caught up in traffic, or he's close to coming?
I have no way of reaching Paul.
I do. I mean, I
We
can
could text him.
I can text.
Blow them up here. Yeah.
I got it.
Some
I got
of
it.
these, like that tiny little house.
Which one is that, Kenny?
I text him, see what he says.
Well, I guess then on 24-2047, we can do a first reading. And we'll move on then. So first reading on that one. Ordinance number 24-2048, an ordinance establishing a certain rate of pay for the position of part-time police cadet.
Yes. So this is, we used it in the past specifically to put people through the academy. I mean, that's kind of what the position's for. This is basically updating the rate of $15 to $20. It's not been changed since 2021. The guy we have in place is ready to go, happy to go to the academy. There shouldn't be any budget issues. Our one part-timer is leaving, I think, at the end of this week. And then we have one full-timer who's leaving, I think, also. Actually, today is his last shift. So we should be understaffed. So adding this person onto the department, we should still be under budget, so.
And on this, we're also eliminating Section 2.
Correct. I think Sarah's probably still has it. Do you have Section 2 on that one? Should have Section 1, 2, and 3. Trying to get rid of Section 2. You still have it? Yeah.
I still
So
have it.
you would need to amend that as well.
That can be corrected by the time we pass it.
Yep.
Okay, so all we can do, of course, is a first reading, right? So then we'll move on to the next resolution. The first reading of a resolution, 24-1221, an emergency resolution providing authority to the law director to execute a subdivision in the special district settlement participation forms for the Kroger Settlement Participation Agreement and placing any received funds in the city's One Ohio Fund.
Yeah, I think ones we've done in the past have been, I think we've done like CVS and Walgreens. This is the same exact thing, just they're all part of this big opioid settlement. It's getting dispersed to the different municipalities to be spent on, I don't know, have you talked with other departments what they've spent it on? I think in general it's, don't they use on like the pens that if someone overdoses, whatever medication you give them
Narcan.
to Narcan. I think a lot of places spend it on Narcan, so it's meant to be used to combat opioid in some ways. So it'll go in a special fund and be restricted for that use, but this is just us accepting the funds and saying that it will be used for that particular purpose. So done it in the past. I think this might be the third one we've done. But it's due, when did we say, August? This is one, would prefer to do it in one reading. I forget what the due date is.
It has to be filed
August
by
12th.
early August.
So Paul is 30 minutes away.
I'm sorry, he's what?
Paul's 30 minutes away.
Okay,
Yeah.
special meeting.
Yep. Go ahead and set that meeting now?
Well, let's do the first reading on this.
first.
First reading, oh, okay.
Okay, on 24-1221, we're having a
Set it
first
30
reading.
minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
you can set it 30 minutes. Come back.
Special session at 8:30.
Why, tell him. Come or not?
We want to wait for Paul? No. It's lost.
Okay, then we're moving on from ordinances and resolutions to old business.
What's the status of the sign at the Heritage Park?
I sent an email just last week asking, because I thought it was going to start 3 weeks ago. The sign has been delivered.
Delivered to who?
To the installers.
The installer,
So we
okay.
do not have it, but the installers have it. I've not had an update in a little while, so no update for council, unfortunately. Any moment, as far as I'm concerned, it's fitting us into their schedule.
Controls for it are up here at City Hall when it goes in.
What's that?
The sign, who controls the sign?
I assume it'll be some kind of Bluetooth. I don't know if it'll reach all the way to here, if we have to go there to change it, but it'll be electronic. You can do it through your computer, probably even there's probably an app for it too, I would bet.
And
but
who has control of the Bluetooth of the computer?
Me, probably.
You? Okay. It'll be up here at City Hall then.
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell me, put a concert up there, or a council meeting, or, buckle up, could be anything, so.
Any other old business? I would like to make a comment just in regards to the fireworks. They were fantastic.
Yeah, they were great.
Did a good job. And everybody enjoyed the fireball. They knew it was coming, so they worried about firemen burning up.
Was it,
But it
how
was
many
a-
were the 2 years ago? 3 fireballs, and there were technically 9, I think, this time?
Yeah.
So,
6 small, 3 big.
yeah.
Everybody I talked to as we were walking out, they were just tickled with the fireworks. Not just the fireball, but
Yeah.
They were very
impressive.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very good.
Successful.
They do a good show.
Yeah. Anybody else have any old business? New business? We have to set a special meeting, Mr. Reddick.
That's what I was going to bring up. We have to set a special council meeting. Well, I recommend next Tuesday, if not sooner.
Well, let's try Tuesday. Anybody make it Tuesday? Everybody make it?
Works for me.
Yes, we can try 6 o'clock.
Yeah, anytime. It's fine with me.
So next Tuesday at 6 o'clock? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, next,
You only need 4 for it, so, right?
It's only going to be 3 pieces of legislation real quick.
That'll be the scope of our meeting, those 3 pieces.
We'll be out of town, but you don't need me anyway, so feel free.
So it'll be next Tuesday, the 23rd, at what time did you say?
6 PM.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah, next Tuesday, the 23rd at 6 PM, to have a special council meeting for the 3 pieces of legislation that we just discussed. And Mr. Bauer, will you contact the other council members about this meeting?
Yeah, I'll get it on the,
I just text Paul.
I'll send an email and I'll get it on the website posted for public notice and all that, so. So July 23.
Other new business, council?
It's 6 PM, right? Or is it?
Mr. Rissell? Would you like to adjourn the meeting?
Making a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Rissell has made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I
I'll
have a
second. I'll second.
Mr. George has seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned.